It's been a couple of days since Nvidia's keynote struck us like a wonderful flashbang of lightning that totally did not burn the heck out of us. And seriously, I didn't know if I was going to make this video, but I kind of wanted to because I'm mad and because I just love to ramble. And do you know any other better situation to ramble about than this one that we were presented by from Nvidia? So, I won't even talk about the ridiculous $1,600 that the RTX 4090 costs, because it is what it is. You know, people that have a lot of money or people that work on making movies or stuff like that, they need the super powerful graphics card. So sure, go ahead. It's bad, but whatever. I won't talk either about the DLSS 3.0 that potentially raises your latency, which there's a high chance that will nullify the advantages of having the higher frame rates. It hasn't been tested yet, obviously, but there are indications that led me to believe that they need to work on this. Or DLSS 3.0 is going to be a major flop, and I really like the technology. It's very impressive, but still, you know, they need to be careful with the ghosting and all of that jazz and the latency. They really need to step their game up. But either way, I digress. We need to see real-time performance from reputable sources. You know, we got a lot of amazing YouTubers out there, like Gamers Nexus and Linus Tech Tips and good old Hardware Unboxed. Love those guys. And a bunch of others, Hardware Canucks, and there's a lot of highly technical, entertaining YouTubers out there from the tech space. And also, that's not my space, you know. If you want to hear the technical side of the RTX 40 series, this is not the place. It's just me rambling about something in particular, okay? And we'll get there. I know I ramble a little bit too much, but you know, it is just me being me. But what I'm here to talk about is the RTX 4080, and put some very big quotation marks around that RTX 4080. The one that costs $899, the 12GB version. That is totally the same card as the 16GB version. Not, which opens a can of worms. I don't want to go there, because both versions are completely different cards, and I was doing some maths, and the difference between the two 4080s is 21% when you count the cores and all that jazz. And even though that is obviously not representable of the performance, okay, obviously that there's other stuff like core clocks and all that stuff, and the bit buzz and a bunch of other variables. That's not the point here. What I'm trying to say is that there's a 21% difference in the core count, and I was like, oh, okay, so let's check what's the difference between the 1070 and a 1080. That is like the last great generation, in my opinion, from Nvidia, and the difference was 25% just on the cores. I didn't count the TMUs or the ropes, because there's not even a difference there, but that's not the point. As you can see, we have a 21% difference on the two 4080s, and between the 1070 and the 1080 the difference was just 25%, so like a 4% difference. And we were talking about two completely different tiers of products, and that brings us to my point of this video, the point that triggered me and made me quite mad, I won't lie. The 480, the 12GB version, is actually a 470. Would you believe that? And what really triggers me is that the 1070 started at $379, which is a pretty steep price, but, you know, reasonable for what you were getting. And then we look at this nonsense from 2022, this 480 in quotation marks, and it will cost at least $899, which won't not be $899. We know that. The AIB partners they need to have some profit, so we are talking probably around $1,000. For the 480, there is basically a 470 in disguise. And that seriously pisses me the fuck off, because we are talking about the difference of 3 generations between the 1070 and this 480. And the price increase is more than double. That is ludicrous. And I don't care if they come with, oh, inflation. Like, no. Inflation cannot work the same way for everything in our lives, because not only Nvidia has high profit margins, which means that they can tend to lower them a little bit so they can fulfill a larger, broader market with high quality products, because they have that leeway and they can do that. But also, who's going to buy this? Because even though computers are very important, they are not of the extreme importance, you know? We are talking about 480s, talking about a high tier of performance that normally people only use for gaming or for rendering work. And that's not a large percentage of the population, because you can game on a 450, let's say, on a low to mid-range graphics card easily, no problem. It's going to run basically everything. So the fact that they had the gall, the fact that they have the courage, almost this disdain for the intelligence that people have nowadays, because they are instructed, they have the knowledge, you know. You just need to check how many views all these big YouTubers have, like millions upon millions upon millions. And that's because people are interested. The DIY market has never been bigger. People know what they are buying. People wait for reviews. And even though I know that the product is going to be good, because we know that it's going to be good, it probably won't be 2 to 4 times better than the previous generation, like Nvidia is claiming, but it will probably be around 70% faster. And that's very good. That's very good. That's not the point either. The point is that they have the courage and the goal to appear in front of us and just show us a product that is not the product it should be. Because like I said, it's 21% difference between the two cards. And I know I won't even mention the fact that there's also different power budgets, which means the other 480 will be probably able to go beyond the 21% mark, because it doesn't have the constraints that the lower tier one has. And the megahertz difference will not make up to it. I'm almost certain of that. We're just talking numbers here, so we need to see the full product for us to understand how different both products actually are. But looking at this, and what I just said, now in 3 generations, 6 years, they were able to subvert completely the idea that the 1070, that tier of product, the 70, the high mid-range, that was 379, now should cost 900. That is ludicrous. And I'm saying 900, but that's going to be the price for the States. Because don't you think that that price will stick around for the rest of the world? The States are a very peculiar market in which people just buy. The States are an eager market, and people have the money. People want to be early adopters, and people just buy the stuff. So companies make an effort to keep their products with the price that is attractive and as close as possible to MSRP. The rest of the world is going to get fucked. Like where I live, if I find a 4080 12GB for less than 1,200 euros, I will be very surprised. And we are talking about 300 euros above what is supposed to be MSRP. And dollars and euros are pretty much the same value right now, so it is easier for me to make the maths. At least on that part, it is nice that euros and dollars are pretty much the same thing right now. But still, that's not the point, obviously. If I go and buy a 480, which I won't, if I go and buy a 480 and it cost me 1,200 euros. That's 3 times more than a 1070 cost. And we know that 480 is actually not a 480, it's a 470 in disguise. In disguise. English. So yeah, my point is that if you can avoid getting this series, just avoid it, you know? We need to send a message, and if they only understand with the weight of our wallets, let it be, you know? And of course, if you gotta buy it, sure, go ahead. But before you do so, please wait for independent reviews and independent benchmark from the YouTubers that I mentioned before. Because you need those real numbers to understand what is going on and if it is worth buying. And I'm talking about this towards Nvidia, but I could mention AMD also, or Intel. That's not the point. The point is not Nvidia, is how they take a product, a tier of a product, and they completely alter it to the point where it might cost twice or more than what that tier should actually cost. And that is absolutely filthy. A price creep of 10%, sure. Okay, I understand. We are living in tough times and the wafer price went up and all of that jazz, and sure, I understand. But you're not talking about 10% price increases, are we? No. We're talking about more than 100%. And in the case I said, more than 200%. Okay? And that is totally ridiculous. Ridiculous to pay triple the price for the same tier of graphics card. And obviously the performance is way better now, but that's not the point. Obviously it's better. It's been 6 years. As a consumer, we are normally used to 20% year-on-year performance increases. That's normal. That's to be expected. And that doesn't need to come with a price increase. Obviously, sometimes it even comes with a price drop. We've seen that. Because the performance increasing is normal. Like that's how things go. We progress. So the fact that we are talking about more than double the price, it really gets on my nerves. Either way, I already rambled for too much. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, if you can not buy the graphics card, don't. Look at the used market. There's going to be a lot of good deals there. Or just wait for decently priced mid-range graphics cards that are taking way too long to come out, but whatever, you know. We'll see where the market takes us. We will see what AMD proposes us, and Intel as well. We cannot forget Intel. Let's see what they come up with. It looks okay to me, except the drivers, but that's what it is. Let's see if they can get their shit together and come up with a good product with good drivers. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. See you next time. Peace!